Hello, in this video, I'm going to discuss recruiting and all the ways that customizable spreadsheets and processes can support your recruiting process. The company that this example was created for is specifically a sales company. So their business is recruiting and training sales reps to sell products for specific clients. So they spend a lot of money and time on recruiting and look for a lot of data to back up their efforts there. So the basis of this process starts in this tab of this specific form. This information comes in with a Google form. They're pretty easy to use. In this specific instance, this sheet is no longer in service, so the form is no longer active. But the basics of it is that there's a question on the form for all of these columns, and the information is entered. And when the form submits, it automatically puts it in row by row into your spreadsheet. So in this instance, staff members at this particular company were filling out this form when they were scheduling a candidate to come in for an interview. These were people that had applied on different job platforms and had reached out and now are scheduling an interview to come in and talk with a hiring manager. So after the form is submitted with this information, obviously it's pretty standard information here, you can see. The next thing that happens is a calendar invite is put onto the hiring manager's calendar. So this shows up on the email calendar of the hiring manager, giving the fact that it's an interview, the name, the phone number of the sales rep, the date, and the time of the interview. Also, the rep themselves, the person who has been being scheduled for the interview, gets a confirmation text message. These can say any number of things that you want. In this instance, it lets them know that their interview has been scheduled, the date, the time, the address of the interview. If you do virtual interviews, such as with Zoom or Teams or Skype, those can be integrated as well and send a link sent there. It also told the name of the person that they would be interviewing with. And in this case, it was some information about how to park and where to park. You can include any messages that you want about accessibility of the building, how to get in. It can include your social links, any of those things. Also, as you can see after that, 2 hours before the interview, a customizable time, um, the candidate received a text message, a reminder text reminding them that they had an interview that day, again, giving them the address, the name of the person, and in this case, the tidbit about parking. So after those go out, then this tab moves into basically metric reporting. So this tab is where the initial applications, the leads of people that had applied to the job, are put in, and then the staff members who were working to schedule interviews would take it from here and reach out to these candidates, whether by email or phone call, and schedule them. This is basically their dispositioning of them reaching out. So the source where these individual candidates came from, who they spoke to, locations, etc. This is a tab that just tracks the production of those recruiters. The recruiters that scheduled interviews were paid a commission based on their scheduling. So their production had to be tracked. So this is where scheduled interviews, however many people attended, who was hired of those, were tracked. It was also tracked here based on locations, so branches. Here is basically an executive summary, a screenshot that maybe your CEO or your recruiting director would look on, kind of a bird's eye view of how the campaign is going. So more of a dashboard feel. So in this overall section up here, in recruiting, a lot of times the name of the game is about how much money do you spend per hire, per interview, per lead. So up here is where all that is tracked and compared to the previous month. Here is a listing, of course, of all of the fees paid for different recruiting platforms. Over here, recruiting production was tracked based on location and then also compared against previous targets. Down here, it's tracked based on recruiting source. So which job platform is doing the best? Here's another way to track the production of the recruiters, in this case, of people scheduling interviews. Tabulates how much commission they were earning based on their production. These are some campaigns to address people that we had leads for but had not scheduled yet. Office budgets. Multiple different slices of ways to look at this data.